In these elements too, we're talking about control measure for safety workplace transport operation. So what are the safety precautions, right? As we first talk about transportations, the risks that involve, so now we are talking about the control measures, right? After a risk assessment has been carried out to determine the extent and the types of control that's needed, the necessary measures can be grouped into three main categories. So which are the categories that can be grouped? We can group this one. First of all, we have to talk about the safety sites, right? The safety site is where operation is going on, the workplace, the environment, right? Then we're talking about safety vehicle. That is number 2. Safety vehicle is the vehicle which they are using for transportation or carrying of people or goods and service goods, right? Then also we're talking about the driver, the safe driver, right? So this is 3 points. You have safe site, you have safe vehicle, you have safe drivers. So it's divided into 3, this control measure. So as I'm going to deliberate on this, we're talking about safe sites. That is number 1. Safe sites, the workplace and environment. Vehicles, number 1, vehicle free zones and the pedestrian free zones, eliminating the hazard, right? Then 2, good vehicle or traffic route layouts. Keep vehicle at the distance from the pedestrian walkway and other vehicle use of one-way system. So this simply means that the people, the way of a vehicle should be different from the pedestrian. Pedestrian means the people, passerby, right? Their own way should be different in every areas of facility, right? Then we're talking about 3, segregations of vehicles and pedestrian with separate walkway, possible safe having for pedestrian, use of barriers or making for a walkway. So this simply means that you have to segregate, or company need to segregate, or government need to segregate the where people should use for walkway or where vehicles should use. That is the most context of this one, that to prevent people life, to prevent the driver life, to prevent the pedestrian, which is the people life, right? It's safety, it's all about safety. Then point number 4, we're talking about separate sites and building entrance for a vehicles and a pedestrian, right? So in every facility or workplace, they should have separate way where people can enter and where vehicle will enter. So they have to separate the people access way from the vehicle access way, right? Then we're talking about number 5, we're talking about enforced speed limits and traffic calm measures, right? Then also speed bumps were also necessary. So in this one is very important in transportation, right? In where there is a high speed areas, people are congested in this area, you have to create a speed measures wherein if it's 60 kilometer or which is 10 meter, so you have to put measures, and also you have to put a speed bump there to limit. Speed bump limits the speed of drivers, right? Then also we're talking about 6. We're talking about point 7. Use appropriate sign to warn the driver of hazard. So using appropriate sign sign, so driver will know that this place you have to use this limit of speed, you have to limit your speed. This place you have to use high speed, right? These are the way you should do U-turn, right? So there should be a sign and symbol in every way. This is for transportation. Then also we're talking about traffic routes. That is point number 8. Traffic routes surface to be suitable for the vehicle using it, and a guidance avoid where possible, right? So there should be a traffic route wherein, if in case of this place is congested, where they should use, right? Then all of these control measures should be maintained in a good order with a route inspections cleaning and repaired and replacement which necessary, right? So also there should be a control measures, right, and maintenance service of these vehicles and inspections. There should be road inspection, whether drivers vehicles they are following these rules in these sites, right? Like also they should safeties and other government authorities should check on certain area wherein it's safe for people, right? Then we're talking about point number 2. We're talking about safe vehicle. What they mean by safe vehicle? Safe vehicle should be, one, suitable for their intended use, right? So every vehicle should be suitable to be used for the passenger, the office staff. It should be in good use, right? Then suitable for environmental and condition in which they are used, right? So if you are using some certain vehicle for certain purposes, they should be suited for that purposes, right? If it's to carry a lot of load, you should know that you should have a big truck which will carry a load. So they should be used they should be used for a particular reason, right? Which will be appropriate for their use, right? Not to overload. Then also point number 3, to maintain in safe working order, right? Any working orders or the rules of the road, it should be in a safe position. They should follow the rules and regulation of driving and every road, right? Then point number 4, talking about only driving when suitable, trained and qualified staff. So this simply means that a driver that is driving a vehicle or a transportation should always be legal and also have his license and trained, right? Training and knows the signs and symbol of every road. So the essence of this safety is to help people to know their duties and responsibility as a drivers, and also as a citizen, where you should not use and which way you should use, which even if you have your personal cars, how you can apply this in a safety life. This is to protect lives and property. It's not about only your own family or only yourself, how you can help another person, right? This is for vehicle. So in safe vehicle also, we're talking about inspect routes before you use. So when you are driving a vehicle or a transportation, right, you should inspect every rules or government or police or safety in every companies or facility. They should examine the routes which people are going to use, right? They have a GPS system or a green apps, right, which will give you direction on this road, right? This one also, GPS green apps also can help to track drivers their locations, right? Then we're talking about seat belts also. Seats for the drivers also should be convenient, right? Then we're talking about seat belts also in a vehicle. Also seat belt is also necessary. Then you're talking about rolling bar or rolling cage to protect the driver in the event of overturn. So this simply means that in every truck, right, trailer also, they should have a barrier, or your vehicle should have a barrier in case of you have a load inside. Then immediately you will have overturn, right? For the items for this item not to come and hit you as the driver. So there should be a cage which can stop this the items, right? Then we go into the next point, talking about guard to protect the driver in the event of falling objects. So right, any object that wants to come from your vehicle, at least there should be a protection, right? Then your horn. As a driver also in safe vehicle, the horn should be vibrant, the horn should be working in proper, right? Then we're talking about adorable reverse alarm. So whenever you want to do reverse, in every transportation sector, there should be alarm in the vehicle. Not like like this one, pimping, or no. They have a separate alarm that the vehicle will do. It will show sign. People will understand that vehicle is reversing. So immediately they will, if they are standing in that position, they will come out from that location, right? Also, then we're talking about beacon or flashlight. Flashlight of a vehicle also should always be working. It's necessary to check the the safe vehicle. It's called safe vehicle. So there are three. You have the first one, we're talking about the safe vehicle and safe driving, right? Then in this one now, we are talking about safe driving. Safe driving, the driver should always be, one, competent to drive the vehicle. Proof of qualification may also be required. So if a driver is driving vehicle for any company or transportation, there should be a proof of qualifying, maybe your license, right? So also there should be proof. It depends on the company policies and procedures. Then we're talking about medical fitness to the driver also. Then we're talking about providing with specific information, instruction and training appropriate to the workplace and the sites where they should be driving. So like if a driver is driving for a very big company, right? Every company, most time, they have their policies, they have their procedures that drivers should follow. So a driver is supposed to go to an orientations how they can follow the company procedures. So this is more necessary because every company will say, okay, we need this amount of speed limits that you should follow. These are the routes that you should follow, right? So drivers, these are the qualification we need. So these are measures, right? Then we're talking about supervising. To ensure, they need to supervise every driver to ensure that they follow the safety system of the workplace and obey the site rules and do not lapse into any bad practices, right? So this is self-explanatory. Then there are usually a legal standard and local codes of a particular relating to those matters. Management, that's the management of these drivers of these vehicles or transportation, right? This system should also be placed to ensure driver competence. They should also be introduced as a formal arrangement to the health and safety policies of that company or local code or of practice. A proper trained bankman reverse assistance should be used to assist driver with a reverse and a awakening maneuver operation, right? Then I'm going to talk about another point. We talk about driving at work. When you are driving at work, managing work-related road safety. Road safety should also be treated as another aspect of health and safety. So when you are driving at work, we have the policies, right? I'm going to mention about 5 points. We're talking about policies, responsibility, organization, system, and monitoring, and also legal responsibility. When we're talking about driving at work, we talk about policies. What are the policy? This policy should cover the work-related driving and recognition that the employer duties to manage the risks that come after. Then responsibility. Responsibility is that the top level of commitment to this policy is to ensure the resources that are available, right? So the company should make sure that every available resources should be applicable, right, to the driver. The driver should have all this facility, the resources, right? When the vehicle have problem, what they're supposed to do in terms of repairment. Then we're talking about organizations, right? Organization says work-related driving will often involve different group of workers. So policy should also be developed with all of these groups in mind and often involve the interest and the party from across the organization. So every organization, every people that is working in every company or organization, there should be a rules that you should follow, right? And every organization have its own different policies, how you should drive, how you're supposed to, which route you're supposed to use. Then we're talking about system, right? System is the arrangement, right? Arrangement most ensures that vehicle are maintained and inspect and tested and drive and qualify and fit are also checked. Those management system must be established and checked to ensure that they are adequate. So this simply means that the company or transportation company or any company should have their system. System simply means that what are the procedures that they are doing to check all of this vehicle, their safety of this vehicle, right? Let's say, for example, if you have in every park, right, transportation park, right, every driver, they should have their rules and regulation, that what are we going to check in vehicle. They create a checklist, right, that every vehicle that is doing transportation here, they should have these criterias, right. Their vehicle should always be tested and fit, same like when you doing driving test or you bought a vehicle, right. So your vehicle have to go through a test whether it's good or safe for that country, right. So that is called system. Then we're talking about monitor. Monitor in this context in driving at work also mean various methods can be used, right? So the various methods can be used to monitor this driving, like the GPS, right? You have one apps, they call it green apps. So all of this one can be used to monitor the driving at work. People that are driving for your company or your business, transportation company, you can able to monitor their routes, right? Then we're talking about legal responsibility. Legal responsibility, individual driving while at work are bound by the national laws or governing the road safety and the road traffic offense. So this simply means that drivers should have the responsibility and understanding that these are the rules and regulation of government, that you should follow this. You should not cause any road offense, right? So you should follow and abide by those rules and regulation, right? So I'm going to talk about now, after I already finished about driving at work. We talk about policies, responsibility, organization, system, monitoring, and legal responsibility. All these policies should also be there. Then now I'm going to talk about risk assessments in driving or transportation. The risk assessment, working related driving should be risk assessed in the same way as other work-related activities. The standard 5 system approach can also be tailored to suit working-related driving. We're talking about evaluations and control the risks. How can we evaluate and control the risks of driving? Evaluation of these risks should also be looking at a particular act. The drivers, one, we should look at the driver, the competence of this driver. Driver should also be a holder of a relevant driving license for the vehicle to be driven. They might also be required to demonstrate relevant experience, skills, and knowledge. So first of all, you have to check the driver competence, right? Then also there should be a training, right? In the driving, there should be a training, right? Driver may also have an undertaking specific training on a safety driving. Then you should have a fitness and health test, right? Driver may also have to undergo a medical examination and have to pass this medical examination. Then point number 2, we are talking about the vehicle. In this vehicle also, in the risk assessment, the vehicle should be the suitability. What is suitability? Condition, safety equipment, and safety critical information, and ergonomic, right? What is suitable in this context? The vehicle must be suitable for its intended purpose. So whatever purpose you want to use this vehicle, it should be good for that one. Then the vehicle condition, right? The vehicle also must be in a good roadworthy condition. It should be in a good condition. Then the vehicle also safety equipment, like the vehicle should carry a suitable safety equipment. Let's say the first aid in this vehicle, or the lashes in the vehicle, or the fire extinguisher in the vehicle, or the spare tires, or the jack tools. So vehicle should always have all of those things. Then you're talking about the safety, the vehicle safety and critical information. Certain information must be understood by the driver. So the driver should understand most of this vehicle, the sound that vehicle can produce, that you know that this is risk to, this is a risk assessment, right? Then we're talking about ergonomic. Ergonomic simply means that adjustability of the seat belt position and the driver posture to achieve a comfortable position, right? So this vehicle should also have the flexibility, the seat should have the flexibility, so people can able, or driver can able to have a correct posture, right? Then we're talking about point number 3, talking about the journey. What is journey here? Journey is the route. We have routes, the schedule, the time, the distance, and weather condition. But I'm going to deliberate on the journey step by step. On the journey, we have to talk about the route. What is route on the journey? The route planning allow for hazard to be avoided and the risk minimized. So in this context, whenever you use a route, you know that if this road is very bad, it can minimize the risks, right? The exposure to risks. Then schedule also the journey at the right time. So people that the driver that is using the vehicle should have a proper time that is supposed to drive. Because if it's a night time, you know that night to 5 o'clock in the morning is a dizzy period, and that period most of the time in the world is where accidents occur because there are a lot of fatigue, right? So they have to consider that one, the schedule. The timing also allows sufficient time for the journey to go. So you have to know the timing that the driver should go and come. Then you're talking about distance also. Travel long distance also is very bad. It can have a particular distance. Then we're talking about weather condition. What is weather condition? The forecast and the adverse condition must be taken into account, right? So I stop here, and the next topic I will deliberate on other topic.